What is knowledge? What does it mean to know something? What do we need in order to be able to say, honestly, I know this? It's an interesting question when you come down to it, and it's one that great minds throughout history and around the world have considered. Some of the ancient Greeks were interested in knowledge. In fact, they loved knowledge. They loved knowledge so much that they called themselves lovers of knowledge, but they did it in ancient Greek. About 2,400 years ago, one man, one of these philosophers, offered an answer to the question, what is knowledge? His name was Plato. That's him, philosopher and part-time cricket umpire. And he gave us the tripartite definition of knowledge. Knowledge, according to Plato, has three parts to it. It is justified, true, belief. But what does that mean? Let's imagine that I'm in a building with no windows or doors. We shall leave how I got in there to some other time. I'm inside this building. Oh, sorry. I'm inside this building and I want to say, I know that it's raining outside. As a minimum, that requires that I believe that it's raining outside. I can't very well claim to know something if I don't believe it. But believing something is not the same as knowing it. That's where the second element comes in. I must believe it and it must be true. Many people miss this point. They use the words I know in phrases like, I know he wouldn't do that, or I know in my heart, when what they mean is, I very strongly believe. Much damage can occur when people either believe something that isn't necessarily true, or worse, believe something that is actually untrue. Understanding this difference is a key skill for pilots. Pilots need to know their aircraft situation, what the aircraft is doing and going to do next. Mere belief is not enough. In 1972, the crew of Eastern Airlines Flight 401 believed their autopilot was engaged. This was not true, and the aircraft ultimately crashed in the Florida Everglades. In 1989, the pilots of British Midland Flight 92 believed they had shut down a failed engine. This was not true, and the result was a crash just short of the runway near Kegworth. In 2020, the pilots of Pakistan Airways Flight 8303 believed their landing gear was deployed on approach. This was not true, and the aircraft damaged both engines on contact with the runway, suffered dual engine failure and crashed in downtown Karachi. No matter what we claim, no matter how fervently, no matter how loudly we may declare what we believe, the fact of the matter is this: if it's not true, you don't know it. However, according to Plato, even my belief in something that is true is still not enough to claim that I know it. To return to the analogy, I'm in my building with no windows or doors. I claim that I know that it's raining outside. The thing is, even if it is objectively true that it is raining outside, I personally, inside the building, do not know that it is raining outside. Hence the need for the third element of knowledge. My true belief must in some way be justified. In essence, the process by which we justify our true belief and convert it into knowledge is by establishing its truth to ourselves. Something may be objectively true, yet I do not know it. If I establish for myself that it is true, then I justify my belief and I can, therefore, know it. For example, I am in my building. I believe it is raining outside. It is true that it is raining outside. I step outside, experience the rain directly. I have justified my true belief and I now know that it is raining outside. Alternatively, someone I trust comes to tell me that it's raining outside. Hello, it's raining outside. This can also act as a justification. So, I believe it is raining. It is objectively true that it is raining, and I have now justified that true belief. I know it. Now, later philosophers, such as Descartes and Locke and Hume, pointed out that there may be times when our own senses, or information provided by other people, is not sufficient justification. And they have a point. We must always retain at least a measure of healthy skepticism. We could be wrong. But this definition of knowledge, it works. It's good enough for us to use. It's as close as human beings can come to knowing anything. Let's have another example. I know that the Earth is a three-dimensional globe. Now, I have no direct experience to back that up. I haven't walked my way round the Earth, for instance. Nonetheless, I know this about the Earth. My justification, the way I establish for myself that it is true, comes from a variety of sources. I am told that the Earth is a three-dimensional globe by scientists. Cosmologists, astrophysicists, earth scientists all agree. The information accords with already well-proven theories, such as those of Kepler, Newton and Einstein. The successful operation of satellites and spacecraft, the prediction of seasons and the tides, the ability, lest we forget, of aircraft to navigate around the world is based on this information. And there are those who do have direct experience of the three-dimensional globe-like nature of the Earth. All of that is sufficient justification for me to say, I know the Earth to be a three-dimensional globe. And whilst there are those who state that they believe otherwise, unfortunately for them, my friend reckons, or this thing I read on the internet, are not adequate justification. So these people do not know what shape the Earth is. But I do. And so I suspect do you. We believe it. It is true. And it is justified. We know this. That's what knowledge is.